in our Research Integrity and Ethics series. Today, my colleague, Mr. Winston Beukes, and I will showcase the structures that support you in conducting responsible and ethical research. So let me just get my slides ready for you so that you can see what we are going to showcase to you. Let me just get that going. Oops. Okay, so maybe just an indication. Sanazo, Winston, can you see my slides?
Yes,
Yes,
I can see. You must just put it in presenter mode. Wonderful. Thank you, colleague.
Okay, let me just stop sharing because I think it's just sharing my...
No, you had it right the first time?
Was it? Okay.
Yes.
Give me a quick second. Can you see it now?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Awesome. So just a kind reminder, colleagues, that the session is being recorded. So we ask that you please mute your microphone and turn off your camera. You are welcome, more than welcome, to post your questions to us in the chat. We will take live questions and those questions you posted in the chat towards the end of our presentation. So please be patient with us. So for those of you who joined us for Prof. Lex Botha's lecture on Monday, the first research integrity session, you will recall that the concerning data that he showed us about the rise in research fraud and retractions within the scientific community. And Prof. Botha emphasized the importance of a collaborative approach between researchers, research institutions, funding agencies, the learned societies, governments, journals, and publishers in safeguarding the trustworthiness of the scientific endeavor. And this implies taking a proactive approach to dissuade or to prevent research misconduct, but also requires a responsive approach to when such research misconduct happens. So Stellenbosch University, we currently employ such a combined approach. Now my slides, there we go. So we currently employ such a combined approach in facilitating responsible and ethical research conduct. So our first and primary approach is, of course, to promote and foster research integrity and responsible conduct of research. And how we do this is through a variety of ways. We do this through the prospective research ethics review that is facilitated by our in-house research ethics committees. We provide one-on-one or group consultation and advice as an active monitoring measure that deals with ethical dilemmas or questions as they arise. We also support you through training. We train reviewers who facilitate the research ethics review process, as well as our researchers. So we visit departments and we conduct training sessions there. And of course, our research support structures that are involved in research integrity and ethics is we're also directly involved in policy and guideline development so that you know what the current issues are within research ethics and how to deal and approach that. But then the second approach is where we need to respond to allegations of research misconduct or breaches of research norms and standards. And we hope that through the various proactive support measures offered that I listed beforehand, that this will be prevented. But in the case that it does occur, we have the necessary procedures in place to deal with allegations of research misconduct or breaches of research norms and standards. Excuse me. Technical issues. So in order, what underlines the structures we have in place is that, of course, as any good research institution, we have a policy for responsible research conduct. It was revised and reviewed in 2022, and the current version is available, freely accessible on our research integrity or on the Division for Research Development's website. Apologies for misspeaking. And then in the event that a research misconduct or breach occurs, we have a procedure, a written procedure for the investigation of allegations of the breach of research norms and standards. We also have a policy on plagiarism. And of course, this policy is usually, in terms of the procedures, are usually handled within the faculties, within the academic faculties. I think it's currently being updated. And to support or to actually then facilitate any investigative procedure, we have the SU procedure for investigation and management of allegations of plagiarism. So those are the policies and procedures in place that directly support research integrity and ethics at the institution. But with that, we also have research-related and governance-related policies and procedures. For example, we have the research data management regulations, which has also been revised, I think, towards the end of last year. We also have the privacy regulation. Of course, being in the research community, we've all heard about the Protection of Personal Information Act and how, as researchers, we also need to comply with these. And we have the Division for Information Policy and Governance that can assist you with any privacy-related questions concerning your research. So this diagram looks very complex, and I'll hope that I'll be able to take you through it very carefully and briefly. But it shows you the intricate relationship between the structures that are in place to support the promotion of responsible research at Stellenbosch University. So you'll see that there is this relationship between the academic side of our research institution versus the management and support side, which my colleague Winston and I are involved in. So all the research ethics committees at Stellenbosch University, specifically the research ethics committees that deal with human research and animal research, they are registered with the National Health Research Ethics Council. That means that it's nationally registered. We comply and adhere to national standards for research conduct and ethics. And that is usually our policies and our guidelines are generally, in terms of the ethics policies and guidelines, are generally informed by these overarching national guidelines. Then, of course, we have under the Senate, operating under the Senate, we have the Senate Research Ethics Committee, which consists of representatives from all the different faculties and key support, research support staff and divisions. And the Senate Research Ethics Committee is the policy-making body of the support structure. So they make the policy. The Senate Research Ethics Committee discusses developments within the research sphere and how it may impact research integrity and responsible research conduct at the university. And under the Senate Research Ethics Committees, we have our specific in-house research ethics review committees that includes the REC for social behavioral and education research, the REC for animal care and use, the REC for biological safety and environmental ethics. We have the Health Research Ethics Committees 1 and 2. And these are all made up of reviewers within the academic sphere. So your faculties, departments, your academic centers, our members are drawn from academia. And under the management and support team within the Division for Research Development, that is where the professional support staff, we serve these committees in terms of making sure that the application and review processes flow smoothly. And under the management and support, we also have our research integrity officers, which I will introduce to you a bit later on. For the next couple of slides, my colleague, Mr. Winston Beukes, will now introduce you to the people behind these different support structures. Thank you, Winston.
Pleasure. Good afternoon, colleagues. Am I audible? Clarissa, just a thumbs up?
Yes,
If
you
so,
are.
wonderful, wonderful. So it is my privilege to put to you the names and faces, quite blurry if I may say so, but it could very well be because I wear glasses, of my colleagues who Clarissa now referred to as the people who serve these various RECs. So the people in front of you right now, from left to right, is Mr. Aidan Williams and my colleague Clarissa Graham, and they are responsible for the Social, Behavioral and Educational Research REC, along with the relevant chair. Then next to Clarissa is Beukes, and then myself. We are responsible for both animal care and use and biosafety ethics committees. We are as you can see, we're all smiling on the photo. We are very happy to engage with you with regard to work related or information sharing related to these RECs and how they operate and how things are done within these committees. Feel free to reach out to us either by telephone or email, or go onto our website, make an appointment for a consult. We are always willing and able, if I may say so, to support you in terms of making sure that your research runs smoothly within the framework for research integrity and ethics within the institution. Next slide. Then our colleagues at the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences at the Tygerberg campus, they are referred to as the Health Research Ethics Office. So they primarily service the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, but also all research activities that has a medical footprint. When you use humans, their blood, or any medical related um, research project. And from top uh, down, it first is Elvira Rowland, a dear colleague, and then Charmaine, who leads the team at the HREC. And then we have Brightness, colleague Brightness. Then we have Lucinda, Melody, and Ashwin. And again, they are all smiling, meaning that you are more than welcome to contact them if you are struggling with any processes or procedures within the Health Research Ethics Committees, and they will gladly assist you. Then we've come to something that we've asked our various chairs to do. So when Clarissa and I spoke about preparing for this presentation, we realized that it would be interesting, fun, and somewhat entertaining to ask our various chairs to create a 1-minute video in which they, of course, introduce themselves, provide some background of their academic or careers or their academic backgrounds, and then to provide some useful tips for individuals that need to engage with these various ethics committees. It was interesting to see how many of our chairs kept to the 1 minute and how many went over. And without further ado, the first REC chair for the Social and Behavioral Education Research is Professor Len Hansen, and let's listen what he has to say.
Sorry for pausing the video. Was that audible?
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't. Okay, just give me a quick second.
So we thought that the social sciences, where Len comes from, would be a lengthy video, and he didn't disappoint. It is a lengthier video than the 1 minute. But then we thought that the natural science, where Dirk realms from, would now be a very short video, but he also went over time. It's only, I think, Samantha, the other chairs of the other ethics committees that kept to their 1 minute. Interesting. Are we winning, colleagues?
We are almost winning. I'm just trying to get my slide to actually show whilst seeing your faces as well. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, please check whether you can see it now.
I can see it, yes.
Okay, so my slides are activated, and now for the audio.
It's
Good day,
yes.
everyone. My name is Len Hansen. I'm Professor of Systematic Theology in the Faculty of Theology, and I also serve as Director of Research in that faculty. I've been a member of the REC SBE since 2010, and I'm currently one of the chairpersons, together with my colleague, Professor Ilana van Wyk, from the Department of Sociology and Social Anthropology. We lead on average about 20 plus Stellenbosch academics who serve on the REC on a voluntary basis. Over my time on the REC, I've seen the committee grow and develop from a fairly simple system of paper applications to the REC SPC of today, with its two-tiered process via departmental and faculty ethics screening committees, to a well-oiled system of online applications, reviews, feedback, and issuing of proof of ethical clearance. It also changed from a system where the REC served mostly faculties such as arts and social sciences, education, economics, and business sciences, and theology, to one that serves faculties from agriculture to science to engineering. The REC also developed from a committee with one administrative officer whose duties included REC work as well, to one where we have two administrative officers, permanent administrative officers, Mrs. Clarissa Robertson and Mr. Aidan Williams. There was also development in the ways in which research is being done, the way especially in which data is being collected nowadays, especially via electronic data. The greater ease in recruiting and accessing more often vulnerable research participants and their personal information, even across borders, required many statutory changes and additional protection measures. This is done not only for the protection of the research participants, but also of research institutions such as the university, and of course, for the protection of you as the researchers. The research landscape has changed, unfortunately, so that the research ethics process has also become increasingly complex and time-consuming. For some seasoned researchers, while obtaining research ethics has become a regular part of their research, for first-time researchers, the process may seem quite daunting. Also, given the changes in the research landscape, the REC SPC not only became the busiest research ethics committee on campus, but it also had to improve and increase its efforts to assist our researchers with accurate, responsible, and timely ethical reviews. We constantly review our processes and forms, and make it more understandable to you, and our door is always open to help our researchers where we can. We therefore invite you to attend our regular information and training sessions, our website for explanations of the process and the rationale behind everything that we require you to do. But unfortunately, the process may still be somewhat time-consuming. So most importantly, I want to ask of you to always keep your research ethics, clearance, and the process in mind whenever you embark on your research or whenever you design your research. Please budget enough time for this process in order for your research to go ahead as quickly as possible. With that, we wish you all the best for your research, and we're happy to be a small part in that research journey of yours.
Thank you, Len, for that wonderful presentation. I don't know if Len is in the audience, but nonetheless, there will be a dedicated session later this month that deals specifically with work the REC SPE does. So we will now move over to Professor Dirk Belstedt, that's the chair for the REC ACU.
I'm Dirk Belstead, Chair, Research Ethics Committee, Animal Care and Use. I've been a member of the committee since its inception in the early 2000s. I'm an emeritus professor of biochemistry in the Faculty of Science. I have a very broad expertise originally in agriculture, but in immunology and vaccine development and animal diseases. The scope of the Animal Care and Use Committee is, on the one hand, to guide medical research and to approve experiments from as broad a field as mice up until wildlife to elephants. You can hear my cat below me, an animal lover by heart. And then we approve experiments in animal production. And finally, we approve experiments for animal conservation and ecology studies, a broad field of observational things from observing hyenas, sampling animals for phylogenetic analyses, and even sounding whales for recognition of whales and their communication. My advice with regard to your application would be to keep in mind the 3 R's: reduction, refinement, replacement. We look at animal numbers very seriously and try to reduce them by these 3 R's to reduce animal suffering. But in general, we try to support researchers to conduct their research and not to be obstructive. Thank you.
Thank you, Dirk. And we take note of the cat that also joined the meeting. When I speak to Dirk, I'll ask for the cat's name so that we know. So the next chair is Professor Samantha Sampson, and she's the chair for the Biological and Environmental Safety Ethics Committee, or the REC-BES, and she will provide input into this. Thank you, Clarissa.
Hi, my name is Samantha Sampson. I have been a member of the Research Ethics Committee for Biological and Environmental Safety since 2016. And I've had the privilege of chairing this committee together with Professor Corinna de Beer since 2019. I am based in the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, and my research background is in tuberculosis. My team is focused on understanding host pathogen interactions during disease. Our work makes extensive use of Biosafety Level 2 and Biosafety Level 3 laboratories. So this falls squarely within the remit of this committee, which has been instituted to protect the interests and safety of researchers, the community, and the environment through compliance with national and international guidelines on biological and environmental safety. So all research involving genetically modified organisms, or research that poses a risk to the environment or the researcher and supporting staff, must be submitted for ethical review and approval before the research commences. I would strongly encourage applicants to first consult our website for useful information. And then my top tip would be to please do reach out to our friendly coordinators. Depending on the nature of the query, we would be more than happy to set up a pre-application consult to ensure that the process is as efficient as possible, so that you can get on with your research as soon as possible. And ultimately, that is what we're here for: support of excellent and safe research at Stellenbosch University.
Wonderful. Thank you, Samantha. The next chair is Dr. Marlies Burger, and she is representing both health research ethics committees.
Hi everyone, my name is Marlies Burger. I'm the chair of Health Research Ethics Committee 1 within the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences at our campus. We actually have got 2 committees, 2 HRECs, HREC 1, which is chaired by myself, and then HREC 2, which is chaired by Prof. Mariana Kruger. There's no difference between the 2 committees, it's simply we've got 2 simply to share the load because we get so many applications. I've been on HREC since 2017, first on HREC 2, and then in 2022, I took over as chair of HREC 1. The scope of our committee is basically we oversee all health research related applications. So anyone doing anything health research related will come to us. That's not necessarily only from our faculty, but it might be a different faculty that does that venture into health research, and their applications will then come to us. My secret to share is basically, and don't tell anyone, but we are actually really nice. We actually really want to help you. And we really want you to get your research up and running so that you can get going with your studies. So my tip is that if you have any doubts, if there's anything that you're not sure about, if there's anything that you want some advice on, just ask us. Contact us by email, look us up on the website, on the HREC website. Contact us by email, corner us in the passage, tackle us in the parking lot. We are more than happy to help. And very often, queries can be very easily resolved by just having a quick discussion or even a formal consult beforehand. So if there's anything that you have questions about, that you're not sure about, definitely just ask, rather than going through the whole process just to get the answer right at the end and then it's taking weeks. So simply pop us an email and we'll be happy to help you. All the best with your application.
Thank you to Marlies. I would argue that we reserve the tackling in the parking lot for very special occasions and not as a routine measure to contact any of the REC colleagues. Our next chair is Professor Angela Dromosky from the Undergraduate Research Ethics Committee, and she will provide some insights into that committee.
Hi colleagues, my name is Prof. Angela Dromosky. I am the chair of the Undergraduate Research Ethics Committee and have served on this committee for about 8 years. I'm based at the Department of Pediatrics and Child Health here at the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. The UREC committee focuses on undergraduate and honors research, and we aim to equip you with skills to grow your research career. Our top tips for you as young and budding researchers are to consult the UREC website, which has a wealth of excellent research-oriented articles, videos, blogs, and guidelines to help you as you prepare your research submissions for ethics approval, and also to consult with your supervisor, who has also a wealth of experience and can guide you along the journey and the submission process. All the best with your research applications. And remember, you can also consult our website to apply for funding for publications as well as conference attendances.
Wonderful. So colleagues, there you have it. All the REC chairs have provided some insight into the workings of these committees. As I said, dedicated sessions for each of these committees will take place later, either during the course of this month or in March and April. What is quite evident is that there's a golden thread with regard to these RECs and the tips that they gave, and that is to consult. Consult as far as possible, reach out to us, and we will certainly try to answer all your queries. And if we can't, we'll go find the answer, even if we have to walk quite far. So, Clarissa, shall I continue, or will you deal with this Rio aspect?
I can deal with the Rio aspect.
Okay,
Thank you, Winston.
wonderful.
Okay, colleagues, so I think you should be able to see my face once again. The team of people you see in front of you are the people you see in front of you are those that are appointed research integrity officers. And they primarily, where you saw the research ethics committee chairpersons that dealt with the promotion and fostering of responsible research ethics conduct through research ethics review. These academics and experts are research integrity officers that deal with allegations of research misconduct or breaches of research norms and standards. So you'll see that it's a team of research integrity officers that we have that support you. If you have any questions about research integrity matters, whether it be through authorship, data sharing, perhaps matters relating to research norms and standards, or perhaps you yourself know of or are uncertain about whether research misconduct has occurred either in your own research or perhaps in someone else's research. You can contact these research integrity officers via the email address provided below. I think then, Winston, would you like to take us home?
Okay. I will gladly steer us to the end. So with that said, we have a website dedicated for research integrity and ethics that is hosted within the DRD, the Division for Research Development. And this website or web link provides you with a number of links that would take you directly to each of these RSCs that we've just spoken about, but also provides you with access to information and documents related to responsible research conduct at the institution. As a first step, I would argue that if you have any plans to submit an ethics application, that this would be your first port of call to access the website, access the information, and if you need any further assistance, do not hesitate to contact us. The next slide. So this is just an alert to keep your eye out for the next sessions. Tomorrow is the animal care and use session that I am involved in with my colleagues, and on the 27th we will you will again see my face with Professor Samantha Sampson, and we will talk to the biosafety and environmental safety. So there's the list of all coming research integrity and ethics sessions. Please highlight, put them in your diary, and come ready with all your questions. We would be really, really happy to answer and engage with you. I think that is about it, colleague. Yes, so thank you for your time. Thank you for joining. And we will now open the floor for any questions that you want to put to us.
Please feel free to raise your hand or to post anything in the chat if you would like.
I think our presentations were thorough, very, very thorough.
I hope so. But I think, colleagues, the key take-home message that Winston and I can share is that planning is essential. Research ethics review is, as Prof. Len Hansen mentioned in his video, it has become very complex. There are so many regulations, guidelines, policies, procedures that you need to keep in mind to support you in your research journey. And it is, I believe, impossible for one person to have all that knowledge and be able to apply that to their research study. And that is why we have these support structures in place as a kind of a checking mechanism. And that's why we have the prospective review processes in place through our research ethics committees. And also, please remember that the research ethics approval that you receive for your study is not the final engagement or interaction you have with the research ethics committee. If there are any concerns you have throughout your research journey, in the field, questions, dilemmas that occur, apart from your research team and support team being your supervisors or your HOD, you can also come to us for advice or consultation, particularly where we can advise you in terms of how to ensure that your research abides with the applicable laws and regulations that are in place. But you can imagine what a complex process that is, and it does take a bit of time. So we encourage you to please reach out to us, go to our website. All the information is on our website, but reach out to us if you have specific question that is not addressed in the resources we have. Winston, is there anything that you would like to say?
Nothing that I would want to add, just to say again, pop by, send an email, call us. We are here to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Winston. And thank you, everyone, for joining. The recording and the slides will be shared with you. Oh,
there's a
yay, we
hand.
have a question. Miss Itana, please, you are live. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. I would like to ask if I have an option of booking for a one-on-one Teams meeting with any of the committee members.
So with the committee members, that
Mhm.
that can only occur. Okay, let me explain it this way. So for pre-consultation, usually you would book a consultation with one of the coordinators. So that will be myself or Winston or Beukes or Aiden, Charmaine, Melody, Brightness. Those are the people that you will do a pre-consultation with. And this is to guide you through, here's what you need to do. Here are the questions. This is how you get started. Our REC members, specifically the Research Ethics Committee chairs, only become involved in post-review consultations. So, for example, if your project has been reviewed by the Ethics Committee and perhaps there are comments that you are not quite certain of, maybe you have more questions about those comments, perhaps you would like to test an alternative with them before you submit your review, you can request, and of course this depends on the availability of the chairs, keep that in mind, but you can request a review consultation with us or with one of the chairpersons. With the REC members, the research ethics review process is anonymous. So you will never know who reviewed your ethics application. And the reason it is anonymous is to ensure that it's a fair, objective review. So any consultation that happens usually occurs as a kind of as a process, either with the coordinators or with the chairpersons for post review. I hope that answers your question, Ms. Itana, but yes, you are more than welcome to reach out to any of our coordinators to have a one-on-one consultation or a group consultation if you're doing a group project.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm at the very beginning of my journey, my research journey. So I am also from coming from a different university, but I'm a PhD student. So I'm quite unfamiliar with the university operations. So I would like to have a one-on-one meeting with one of you to just take me through how do I access the website and all of that. Is that too much to ask? That's what I wanted to know.
Not too much to ask. I have to say that we have resources available just to get you started. So I would recommend that you will get our slides soon after. I think Ms. Solani usually sends the recording and the slides thereafter. And in our slides, we've included the links to the website. And once you're on the website, you'll be able to access how the review procedures work and how the research ethics application, like how to get started. But in terms of the sessions that we have scheduled, I think Winston for Miss Itana, may I ask, are you doing human research, animal research, research involving biological safety and environmental matters?
Human research.
Okay, and human research within the social sciences or within the health research and medical research schemes, skills?
I don't know which one it is, but I'm from the Faculty of Education.
Okay, it will probably then be the social sciences one. So you can send me an email and then I can send you all of that information and we can arrange a consultation. You should have my email in this. If you click on my face, you'll see my email address there. But also, please don't miss the sessions we have on the 28th of March, because that is where we will actually take you through what the review process is about and the different facets. So keep an eye out for that invitation.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so then there's another question, I think, for you, Clarissa, because we don't usually interview animals. So I think it is for you.
So the question that is by Mr. Nkunziba. Thank you for the session. I would like to know, how do you determine reimbursement amounts if you are doing interviews with participants? Okay, so Mr. Nkunziba, I would ask you also to pop me an email, because most of the information and the guidance you are looking for are contained in guidelines or resources that we have. So what I'll do is, to answer your question, I will post the guidelines or the link to the guidelines in the chat, because there's a difference between, there's a procedure for payment of research participants within health and clinical research. And then there's another method we use for payment and reimbursement of participants in social science research. And it sounds like if you're just doing interviews, the latter will probably apply to you. So I'll send you our standard operating procedure and the section in which we discuss reimbursement and payment of participants. And then also I'll just send you the clinical trial one, if you want a more statistically refined way of determining reimbursement of participants. I hope that helps.
Okay, I think the colleague will get hold of you via email, as you said,
Yes.
And then move forward. So, colleagues, thank you. We don't want to keep you away from your lunch. So I'll say goodbye from my side. Clarissa, you'll say goodbye from your side, and then we say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everyone. Hope
Keep
to see
well.
you in a consultation soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.